Hi there, welcome to this fifth video in the exam success series for the City and Guilds 2382 exam for the Amendment 2 of the 18th edition wiring regulations, the IET's requirements for electrical installations. Remember, as we are running through, pause the video so that you can find the answer routes yourself from the questions, and if there's any issues with the questions, remember you know how to get in contact with me through the college, right? So remember, number one, read the question, and point number two there, read the answers. If you know the answer it and move on. If you're 80% sure, answer it, flag it, and move on. Okay, remember this is a timed exam. If you're unsure and you're having to utilise the book to find the answer, then look at the keywords in the question and the answers to find your answer out utilising either contents or index. If, however, in the exam you have wasted 2 minutes hunting for this answer, then answer it to the best of your ability, flag it on the screen, and write the number down in the back of your login sheet so that you can go back to it at the end of the exam. Remember, your whole goal here is to try to save yourself time so that you've got time to come back and look at these questions that you've utilised your 2 minutes on, and you've not got any closer to finding the exam. So we're going to look at questions 41 through 50. Remember, pause the video as required. So question 41, which of the following capability of persons category could have access to a circuit breaker's overcurrent characteristic settings without the use of a key or a tool? And then we've got these capability of person external influence codes. Okay, so we need to find out which one of these external influence codes might be able to change the overcurrent characteristic settings. So a couple of ways we could do it. We could go and look at the capability of persons in Appendix 5, or we could go and look at this overcurrent characteristic sentence. So we'll look at the overcurrent characteristic sentence first. So if we get into overcurrent characteristic sentence, you'll see there that takes in your index. In the index, it's telling us to go to 53313. If we look at 53313 for circuit breakers, it says there, where a circuit breaker may be operated by an ordinary person, it shall be designed or installed so that it is not possible to modify the setting or calibration of its overcurrent release without a deliberate act involving the use of either a key or a tool and resulting in a visible indication of its setting or calibration. So the word in here is it's leading us towards someone who is instructed or skilled when we come to our utilisation codes for category or capability of persons. So if we get into Appendix 5 and we look at our utilisation, we have BA1, BA2, BA3, BA4 and BA5. And if you look at BA4 and BA5, we have instructed and skilled persons. So these are the two persons or types of person that we would expect to be able to adjust the current setting, not someone that falls under that ordinary person capability. Question 42, an operation intended to, the definition, an operation intended to switch on or off or vary the supply of electrical energy to all or part of an installation for normal operating purpose describes which of the following. So we're looking at definitions here. You'll see here we have switching off for mechanical maintenance, emergency switching, isolation and functional switching. You'll see it's normal operating purpose. I'm pretty sure we would be able to identify this one, but my answer route for this one would be, if I was unsure, would be emergency switching, functional switching, isolation, and then switching off for mechanical maintenance or mechanical maintenance, just because of the alphabetical order of these answers that have been provided. Okay, so we're going into definitions. And in definitions, if we start off at emergency switching, it's talking about removing that possible danger as quickly as possible. Okay, and then we have functional switching, which gives us an operation intended to switch on, and it gives us virtually verbatim what we've got in the question. So there's our answer there. Question 43, it's another definition question. And we're talking about the replacement, refurbishment or cleaning of lamps and non-electrical parts of equipment of plant and parts of equipment, plant and machinery. And then we've got our list here. Again, all we'll do here is we'll just alphabetize it and run through the definitions to find our answer. So as we run through our definitions, when we get to mechanical maintenance, you'll see there we have replacement, refurbishment or cleaning of lamps. And again, I'm pretty sure we could have got that without actually going hunting for that one. Question 44. Which of the following is the minimum cross-sectional area for a protective conductor runs separately? It's not an integral part of a cable formed by a conduit and does not have mechanical protection. Okay, and we've got these cable sizes here. So for this one here, we're going to look in our index. And in our index, we're going to protective conductors and we're going to run down and get until we get to cross-sectional areas. And you'll see there it's taking us to 543.1, 543.22, 4 and 6, and 544.1 and 2. Okay, so we'll start off. If we get there to 54311, embedded within that regulation there, it tells you there that if the protective conductor is not an integral part of a cable, or is not formed by a conduit, ducting or trunking, or is not contained in an enclosure formed by a wiring system, let's bring back memories of the question, its minimum cross-sectional area shall not be less than 2.5 millimeters squared, copper equivalent, if mechanical protection or protection against mechanical damage is provided, and 4 millimeters if it's not provided. Okay, so looking at back here, does not have mechanical protection. We're looking at that 4 millimeters squared cable. Okay, so 2.5 if it does have mechanical protection, protection against mechanical damage, 4 millimeters squared if it's not got mechanical protection. Question 45, it's asking there where a final circuit is intended to supply one or more items of equipment such that the total protective conductor current is likely to exceed 10 milliamps, then what is the minimum cross-sectional area if it's mechanically protected? Right. So minimum cross-sectional area for a single copper conductor should be which of the following again if it's mechanically protected? So looking here, we're back to protective conductors and we're looking at high currents in, and it takes us to 543.7. So protective conductors 543.7. If we look down 543.7, you'll see there 543.71203. It's talking about final circuits. Okay. We can have a single protective conductor here, and you're saying it's 10 millimeters squared, but further down there we've got a single copper protective conductor having a cross-sectional area of not less than 4 millimeters squared, and you'll see there it's got protection, additional protection against mechanical damage. Okay, so 10 millimeters if it doesn't have mechanical protection, 4 millimeters squared if it does have mechanical protection. Which of the following could be fitted in the neutral conductor of a water heater having immersed and uninsulated heating elements? So here, folks, we're looking at water heaters and we're looking at information about immersed and uninsulated heating elements. And you'll see that we've got a double pole switch, a single pole switch, a non-linked circuit breaker or a fuse. I know these here are all single pole. I know where I am leaning towards, but let's see if we can find the answer. So we'll go and look at water heaters. So if we get to water, you'll see in water we have water heaters, and within water heaters it's got that section there for having immersed heating elements, and it's taking this to 554.2 and 554.3. So if we go into 554.2 and .3 at 554.3, you'll see there we've got immersed and uninsulated heating elements. And if you look in 554.3.3, we have that double pole link switch for the cables. Okay, so there's our double pole link switch for our supply. Question 47. Control equipment incorporating means for protection against overload should be provided for every motor in excess of which of the following? So we're looking for a kilowatt rating. So we're looking for overload protection for motors. Yeah. So we'll go into our index, go to motors, and we go down to overload protection. That's taking us to 552.1.2. And in 552.1.2, you'll see there we have that 0.37 kilowatts. If we exceed 0.37 kilowatts, we need that protection against overload. So that overload that we fit underneath our contactor set to 100% of the full load current if it's direct online starting. Then we've got question 48. An acceptable supply system for use with extra low voltage lighting could be which of the following? So we're looking at extra low voltage lighting or lighting extra low voltage, and we're looking at the acceptable supply systems. If we go into lighting, you'll see that we've got extra low voltage lighting is sending us to section 715. We're into section 715. At the start of section 715, 411.7.201, you'll see there functional extra low voltage shall not be used. And then we've got 715.414, and it tells us there that we can use SELV or PELV systems. Okay. So there you go, we can have SELV or PELV systems as our acceptable supply for extra low voltage lighting. Question 49. An automatic supply classified as a medium break for a safety service would be available within which of the following? So we're looking at safety services here, and we are looking at this classification of supplies for medium breaks. Okay. So if we get into safety services and we go down to classification of supplies for, that takes us to 564.1. And at 564.1, it gives us the classification. You'll see down here we have medium break, 15 seconds. So it's going to be within 15 seconds for that automatic supply, that changeover time to meet the requirements for the regs. Question 50. Which of the following types of electrical installation work would not be suitable for the issue of a minor electrical installation works certificate? So we're looking here at certification or minor electrical installation works certification. Now what have we got? We've got a socket outlet added to an existing ring circuit. We've got a socket outlet added to an existing radial circuit. Very similar, so unlikely. We've got the replacement of a socket outlet or a new lighting circuit. I know where I'm leaning towards. Hopefully this is one that you can answer yourself. But if we look at certification, it tells us to go and look at 644.4.202 or generally looking at section 644. If we go and look at minor electrical installation work certificates, you'll see there we've got that 644.4.201, which is probably where we're going to look first. So if we look at 644.4.201, it says where electrical installation work does not include the provision of a new circuit or the replacement of a distribution board, then we can use that minor electrical installation work certificate. Okay, so that last one that was in our last answer there, a new lighting circuit, that's our correct answer. Okay. So that's us went through the next 10 questions. Remember, if you've got any issues, you know how to get in contact with me. And hopefully this will get you in the right mindset for your exam. Onwards and upwards.